Now, you don't want men in the clubs. You
Nope.
might as well go to LGBTQ club.
Men like him are always projecting.
Always.
Y'all can't have a good time, just men. That's why ladies normally get in free before 11, and it's because the good time is the women.
The safest club I've ever been at is a Schmegs club, and I kid you not. I wrote about it for the Daily Beast. If you want to check it out, Melanie Hamlet Daily Beast. That was one of the most disturbing things that I realized, was that I felt safer in a club where I was completely naked, surrounded by men, than I ever feel in a normal club. And do you know why? Because they have rules there that center the safety of women. They know they need those women to be safe and feel safe in order to have fun. And if women don't have fun, the men aren't going to have fun. So they have a lot of rules where, if they won't even let men in on most nights without a woman. And there's actually one club in Paris that my friend goes to a lot, where there are people who go around and make sure that you stay with that person you came with, because they know that men will just pick some woman up and be like, come with me to the club. And then they'll go and they'll just start like bothering and harassing other women. And if you break the rules, you get kicked out. And it's free for women to go, and men have to pay like 80 euros or something at least. There's also a club, camp or whatever. I like naked people camping. Literally in words, rule, number one rule, women are queen here. We worship women. Their safety is number one. If you have to be told no more than once, you are banned for life. So, I'm like, I went to the Schmegs Club with my friend. I didn't hook up with anybody. I just really wanted to go. And I do want to go back and experiment with all that stuff. But I felt perfectly safe there. And I have never felt perfectly safe in any club other than that one. I would love an all-women's club. I would love to go to a club where men just leave us alone. But they don't know how to do that unless they literally have rules and security. But no clubs do that, because no clubs center women's safety other than freaking Schmegs clubs. So someone like me who loves dancing, I love dancing more than anything. I'm the person who, when I go on vacation, I don't drink, y'all. I haven't drank in like 20 years. I'm the person who will go out and dance totally sober until 6 a.m. It's like my favorite thing to do is dance. And the only thing that ruins it, men. And so, by the way, go watch that whole video. It's so good. And she makes so many great points. And go follow her anyway, especially if you're trying to decenter men. And one of the many points she made is like, if you go to a club without men, you don't have to worry about your freaking drink being spiked. You don't have to worry about walking to your car and one of the dudes from the club following you. I mean, you still have to worry about walking to your car because there's men everywhere. My favorite thing is that I wouldn't just dance, because I like thrust my hips, man. I dance. Like, I love dancing. And every single time I do, a man always comes up behind me and puts his D in my back. Every single time. The audacity. Every time. I'm like, dude, who invited you? It's like assault on the dance floor, and it happens all the time, y'all. But men, I love her point there. Men can't imagine having fun without us. Unless it's doing something like that they don't want us at. Like, they love having fun without us when it comes to like making fun of us or talking crap about us or doing sports and stuff like that they want to exclude us from, right? But if it came to just dancing and socializing and hanging out, so many of them don't know how to be by themselves, much less with other men who can't be by themselves. So if they don't have women to talk about or, catcall together or make fun of or compare notes about, what would they talk about? What would they talk about? Sports. Oh, I know what they talk about, because I used to hang out with a lot of men. I used to work with men. They recite statistics, meaningless statistics about sports, or they list set lists from Grateful Dead concerts that they went to 20 years ago. They can't remember their wife's birthday, but they can remember what song a band that they love played 20 years ago in Atlanta on December 23rd. Or if they're outdoorsy bros, they'll talk about gear. Do you know how much they talk about gear? Do you know how many hours they spend just talking about stupid gear? This cam, that cam. Oh, that, yeah. Or like their what routes they did. But when it comes to meaningful conversation and actual like intimacy, bonding, they don't know how to do any of that unless we're at the center of it. Not unless they're really doing the work, decentering themselves from everything in terms of like patriarchy and how men are at the center of everything. They're not doing that work, man. They assume that we are as dead inside as they are. And that's why they are so upset about women just tapping out of dating them. Men who don't know themselves and don't love themselves are just a bunch of Ken who exhaust us and harass us and won't leave us alone. And given just a little bit of power, will take over everything in our lives and make it worse. Decentering men is what we need to be doing, but decentering themselves from everything so they stop projecting is what they need to be doing. And while they're doing it, leave us alone.